So the glass is working out pretty well?
Yeah, it is.
Did you add rubber pads to the bottom?
Well, I just set them underneath it to kind of help kind of keep it secure, not move around so much.
I saw you were stropping, and it kept moving on you.
Yeah.
I added a lip to the edge of this table.
Oh. Okay.
Another way that I've seen people do it is to glue a little foot on the bottom of it so that you can put it on the edge of the table for anything where you need to push.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Push into it.
Okay.
So you're starting on the Sweetheart chisels.
Yeah. So I still have one more of your guys' chisels to kind of clean up too.
Okay.
But that one I'll have to probably use with waterstones and stuff.
Okay.
So to get that.
These should turn out great.
Yeah, I think it should turn out really well. I mean, it's a lot easier not having to worry about so much like to fix the angle of the bevel and things like that, like the other ones.
Yep.
And without any chip, it's like basically I'm just trying to get that finish off that's on there, and then.
Because these are already correct.
Yeah, they are correct. It's just.
But they come with like a plastic.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I kind of researched that a bit, and I also kind of played around with them just to see what they would do, and I could see it already kind of chipping off a little bit there, and I was like, yeah, I should get that off. And plus, it's a little bit sharper when you can like get it really to a like you can even get like a micro bevel on it too and everything. So you can do the.
All right, Colin, what are you working on here today?
All right, well, I brought in an RTL SDR dongle. It's effectively a very cheap way to have a software-defined radio receiver from about 25 megahertz up to 1.5 gigahertz, and have it connected with one of these OTR adapters. Is that right?
OTA.
OTA. But yeah, I can pretty much plug it in as a USB device to my phone, and then I found an app that I just have a demo of right now that you can see the spectrum when I have it hooked up. But
my friends over at Hack5 have done a lot with these, and they have a bunch of recommendations for really good apps on the phones for both platforms.
all right.
So that might be worth looking at. Shannon and Darren did a whole big series on them. And the goal here is to use the SDR to make sure that a CB is fully tuned up.
Possibly, yeah. I'm just sort of messing with it right now, but that might be one practical application for it. The thing is, they're not very frequency stable, and as they heat up, the frequency changes. They don't have a temperature compensated oscillator in there, so you have to let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes before it stabilizes. So, yeah, if I could have a reference that I know was good, I could sort of.
Are there any time references in that general area of the band?
There are beacons. If I could find a beacon on 10 meters, that would be close enough.
Yeah, because CB's in the 11 meter range, right?
Right, yeah. So it'd be somewhere around 28.3, I think, is where the beacons hang out. So yeah, I mean, that's we might be able to hear some of those if the band is open. I'd probably need a longer piece of wire than this thing that came with it.
Actually, that antenna is pretty good.
Is it?
It's surprisingly good, yeah. Even down here, it should be pretty good.
Well, we'll see. I bought an adapter to hook it up to some of my other antennas I use that I've been happy with. I looked at this and just sort of laughed and hooked up an adapter. And
I was really surprised at how well that thing could pick up.
Well, I'll have to give it a try. I haven't seriously messed with this little thing. In fact, I had to dig for about 15 minutes just to find one.
All right, Dan, what are you working on?
I'm working on a Shape of Minnesota beer cutout of a piece of plywood for a beer holder or beer cap display. So there'll be a bunch of little holes in here, and then you stick a bunch of beer caps in there and show off the different breweries you've been to in Minnesota. Saw the idea on Amazon and thought, well, I don't need to spend $40 on it. I can spend $5 on a piece of plywood and make it myself.
Right.
That's the hope.
And you knew where to find a big bandsaw too.
Yeah.
That makes this even easier.
Oh yeah, way better than a little handheld jigsaw thing. So.
All right, so we'll check back in here once you get it all traced up.
Hello?
Yes.
So, a couple
This is the best angle for Jesse. Looking down like he's up on a pulpit, because he's going to be a while.
A couple weeks back, I made some pressure cooked cans jars for growing mushroom spawn.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the fruiting chamber for where they actually fruit, or the mushrooms themselves will grow. And it's pretty simple in concept, really. You take one of these totes. I mean, it could be any kind of tote. I think it's supposed to be clear so it can let in some light. And what you do is you drill holes every inch in a grid pattern across the entire thing, all 6 sides of it. And then you fill up the inside to about an inch depth, roughly, with moist perlite, and then that humidifies it. And then the holes are so that the mushrooms can breathe. Because mushrooms actually breathe just like you and I. They digest sugar and then they take in oxygen and breathe out CO2. It's kind of weird, but they're almost like an animal that way. And so this allows air exchange, and then it also keeps it at just the right humidity because there's a positive pressure with the water essentially pushing the moisture out slowly. So yeah, fruiting chamber for indoor mushroom growing.
Do you know the story behind this really big looking projector that looks...
Oh wow, more equipment.
Big lens, I gotta careful not to scratch it.
Yeah. No, I
What
don't
about
know.
the projector? It looks new, or new to us.
I actually wasn't here last week, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure
we
what
used it
that
to play DVR.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I have Crypt of the Necrodancer on Steam.
Yeah?
So I played that. I did have a dance pad, but I didn't think it was responsive enough to play it. But
Oh, okay.
That's a fun game.
Yeah.
If you've never played it.
Yeah. Did you bring your Steam account?
I didn't bring it or anything. I
No?
didn't bring my laptop
No?
today.
No?
Mm-hmm.
I know we could just like put it on someone else's laptop and then we'd log you out afterwards if we wanted to, but I think the dance pads are here. Yeah, if you wanted to do that, I'm sure someone would. I don't
Amplitude
know.
modulation, I expect. Test.
Script of the Necrodancer
Test.
isn't that big of a file,
Test.
it's just a couple hundred megabytes.
I hear myself.
I don't think it's huge.
It's a pretty small one, yeah.
So
The music files.
not sure if this is up to temperature
yeah.
yet,
Yeah, I forget about that.
but I have an offset
Yeah,
that
probably
it
really
works
good,
on my
Yeah.
computer
I don't know
on
about the
frequency.
bandwidth here.
So looks like it's putting out on 26.985 according to this. I don't trust this, so I'm gonna go look up the frequency now. See how close it is. It might be this off, it might be the radio off, so I'll need to find some other reference. But yeah. Test,
It's
test.
not that it would shut
Can't
down,
hear
it's
it,
that it would shut down.
Hear it?
It's like a purposely
No,
defensive
no, it's, the routers has problems.
Oh.
That's my understanding anyway.
Test, test.
Yeah.
Hey, Whisker,
Cool.
did you...
New plan.
They're still throwing excuse. So
I bought a
I
brand
gotta
new,
imagine there's some kind of treatment
unadulterated
something
USB controller here.
Yeah. Also, they live
So-
on probably
environmentally.
Theory
protected
was
too, right?
that.
I mean,
Wow, this is
probably,
harder to
yeah.
take apart the first time.
I mean, what I'm thinking of is there's
Like
this one that's south of India.
South of India?
I had no idea.
Theory was that the board is just kind of so cheap that undoing these leads that are also covered in glue is a bad plan.
Yeah.
I've got a board here of
I wonder about that. I mean,
what it looks like
cannibalism's
when you
pretty unethical, and we just let them
try and strip that
I know.
away.
I know.
It's pretty-
That's why I think the prime directive is
pretty
kind of
raw
funny. It's
looking.
Like, well, wait a minute.
I must have put that. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it just gets really gross and raw, and there doesn't look like copper leads are there. So, new plan. Don't mess with that. Just cut these USB leads. Patch one end to the input for the hub and one for the output back to the controller.
So why is that one blue and the other one isn't?
What?
Ah, they only bothered with the coating on one side. I see. That's inexpensive manufacturing.
Yeah, I mean, I did spend $8 on these.
Wow, you really like stepped up to the plate on that one.
Yeah, my friends are worth a lot to me.
On the last grit, and I did all these already, so I'm gonna test them out in a bit. But for now, I'll just finish this up. So.
I believe that's the one we looked at before. All those lines are gone.
And I'll polish them up too afterwards, but I'll test them out on some paper too, see how well it cuts.
So here, finished cutting it out with the nice bandsaw here. Next step is to drill a bunch of holes in it so there can be all the bottle caps sitting in it.
Did you find a drill bit that's the right size?
I went and bought 1 inch and 1/8 was the correct size, and they fit nice and snug in there, which is just the perfect amount. So
And you actually have two of those because you screwed two pieces together.
there's 2 in here. Yep, screwed together a little bit.
Because everybody who needs one of these obviously needs two.
You need 2. Well, you need 1 for yourself and then 1 for the Father's Day present. So I think this will work out well. More to come.
It's all soldered together. I think I gotta put the controller all the way back together to make it work. I don't know why that I can't just, you know, wet my finger a little bit and make these contacts work.
May not be conductive enough, but
Okay.
a little piece of metal or those
I-
little buttons.
I tried like pushing down on one of these pads, just placing it on top like this, and that didn't seem to really work either. But it is recognizing the controller because there's a difference between having it unplugged and having it plugged in,
For a row, essentially.
which is strange. Windows also recognized it as a USB controller, which is good.
That's better than what it was doing for sure.
Yeah. On the other hand, it doesn't seem to recognize the USB port,
Which you
with the
did
flash
have
drive.
working before.
Yes, which I tested before I connected this controller. So it might be that the hub isn't acting as a hub. Maybe I shouldn't be pulling this 5th pin to ground like people thought I should.
Yeah.
Peter?
How does it work?
Well, it's
What's the mechanism for that?
I think it was Peter.
It's similar to a European crossbow in that.
Peter's
regard.
right occasionally.
But the Europeans
That's
have-
true.
I'm way out of my
I'm gonna
element.
put the controller back together without the flash drive in just to make sure that that
Basically what it is
works.
is you have a hook on your belt.
And
then
I'll guess
you
I'll
hook
research
that onto the string and you have it up
why
there,
this wouldn't be
but then
working as a
you
hub.
kinda sit down and extend and you go.
So
And then
you have the
hook it up
controller
in place.
hooked to that hub
And
board,
so,
Yep.
and
so
then
you
the
can put
hub is
Another-
plugging into the computer,
relatively
Yeah.
so it's definitely passing it
But
through.
The difference between
It is.
European crossbow and the Chinese
And that's why I'm
crossbow
thinking the hub isn't acting as like a multi-port hub. It's just passing straight through to the controller or something.
And maybe previously the
that you're actually pushing into that.
The drives were picking up first,
One is because
Yeah.
and that was stopping the controllers from going through.
And the controller is a lower number than the port here, because this is 1. This
And
is
on the
3.
ones where the thumb drive are working, is it on a lower number?
the amount of force, and then you
check
also
for you.
got the duration that you're imparting that force into it, right?
Yeah, force times distances
Yeah.
work.
Exactly. So
So you could, aren't you only putting like a certain?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Huh.
the
Interesting
thing
discovery.
about the difference between a crossbow
So it
and
might
bow.
be how I've got
Oh,
this
I'm
hub
sorry.
wired.
No,
Should I just try
if
and
you want to catch it,
separate
was gonna throw it
pin
outside.
5 from
Works too.
okay.
that? I mean that second thing that I had bridged as ground.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean, we could.
Might be worth a shot.
So
I don't know how to play.
Be a
tabs,
really quick
but
thing to
I
try.
would probably find it on my phone and play it.
Figure out the
Huh.
techniques they used to make those. I mean, I couldn't think
Yeah.
the computer put them up.
I've seen a couple instructions on how to make a composite bow,
Okay.
which is
So
made
that's
the
not
exact same way
working
they would've made
immediately.
those back then. They
Um,
just made theirs way.
and it's not detecting this as a
Way more
gamepad
power.
anymore either.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not sure.
So pulling that to
like,
ground
what
was
way- I mean, like,
doing something good.
Oh, it can be dangerous.
I mean, I know it can be
Yeah.
dangerous, but I mean, is there like any way to mitigate the danger
well,
without just like
lots and lots of studying. People who try to make bows from like branches and stuff, if they don't make it correctly, it can explode on them and have wood fly everywhere.
yeah, another reason not to buy bows.
Yeah, but the thing
Is
is,
that up to the level as what you got the other ones?
There's
Yeah.
no highs, no lows, no mids, just bows.
I was
That's
watching a video, I guess, where they said like
Yeah.
to know if a chisel's really good, like just resting the
I
weight
did
on
not
that
get one.
that tip shouldn't tear the paper, but I don't know.
Dissecting
Oh,
a
okay,
joke's
maybe
like
it's working
dissecting
now.
a frog.
You have to kind of.
I mean, you'll learn a lot, but it's
It's a little hard with
it
the
doesn't work
smaller one, I think, but seems like it's pretty sharp.
see.
Yeah.
Be nice and thick.
No tear out?
No tear out. Still gotta sand this upside down, but this should be fine.
So after reconnecting that, the
Also,
second USB port is now actually
taking
working.
it out of the helping hands.
Yeah, that might have been shorting something.
Okay. I guess that was it. Yeah. So,
Time to put it together and see if it actually does its thing.
yeah. Yeah, instead of just being detected as working.
Yeah,
Cool.
it
Shouldn't
doesn't
be-
count until we see game playing.
Yes.
itself. It's like
I
20
remember
bucks.
it going off the air.
Temperature controlled
It was
frequency
like, oh, I
references
know,
are
gotta watch
pretty
the
cool
car.
technology.
Yeah.
Dave Jones did an amazing video about them a couple years ago.
I know I watched Sailor Moon
When you get
16,
into the
remember
like
that.
big crazy industrial stuff.
Yeah.
My parents let me. I don't know why
Come on, come on, do it, do it.
That was like,
Oh.
it was like on those action
Yeah.
boxes, like a new Johnny Quest or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Here we
like,
go.
The one I like
Cool.
most was definitely Sailor
I
Moon.
did it.
Oh, this was before Toonami.
Oh,
Is
before
it is
Toonami.
it
Before Toonami.
booting or?
Oh, yeah, it's booting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Toonami
I'm not
was-
gonna believe you until I see it.
when I was, like,
Well, they had like Toonami, and then they would like play
That was
Dragon
when I was
Ball
a little
Z, and then
tween.
But
they
you saw me
played
start
Sailor
it
Moon,
from-
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I turned it off before Sailor Moon again. I was like, no, I'm not watching that.
Oh, this controller isn't
Yeah.
mapped.
I didn't really like.
Not configured.
that was my jam when I was 6, Sailor Moon.
I mean, I have to figure out how to
But so was
configure
Dragon
the
Ball
room.
Z.
No, not when I was 6.
But
Is
when
it-
you're older,
It really
like,
doesn't count if I can't.
No, you
Okay.
you have to make Mario jump,
All right, I will
and you
make-
also have to provide proof that you own a copy of this game,
Games are amazing.
Yeah.
like a physical copy.
It's at my house.
This is so annoying. Why did I ever like this?
No,
Oh, no.
I expect a selfie on Twitter
Rewatching Pokemon.
with you showing your
a few episodes when I was younger,
your Mario
so now we're,
/ Dark
we're actually watching
Duck Hunt cart.
and like I don't know.
Unless you were, no, you're not even old enough to have gotten one when it came out.
It's so awesome for watching Pokemon.
Not when it came out.
Like our 7-year-old
But,
or 8-year-old selves.
I did
just,
get
like,
one
be so proud of
secondhand
our life
You know,
decisions.
there's like some charm in it.
An 8-year-old at a rummage sale?
Lucky.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
Yeah.
This looks nice.
8 years old is the exact right age for Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, they're,
Because your hands are still fast enough that you can still beat it.
Okay.
Kind of like these pointy ears.
I've got to figure out how to map controllers on Retro
but
Arch.
it has like this tail.
I
Vulpix is
Vulpix is like a
Vulpix
Vulpix
is
is
a
definitely a
fox.
fox. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I mean, you saw me launch it
Eevee's
with
like
the
a-
controller.
kind of a doggish
You got
fox.
that on.
I don't know, man.
maybe
Eevee's fine.
it looks
I
so.
think Eevee would make a good dog name though. But cat's kind of cute too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
This
she's
should
also
be-
very furry, so it kind of works.
Let's see.
Can name.
Pika would be a kind of cute cat name too.
But Pika's more like a mouse,
It is more of a mouse.
That's-
Pikachu
Actually, Pika is a Pika, which is a
eating
like a lemon type
There's
thing.
a-
It's,
Never mind, I was
it's
thinking
this,
something else.
oh no, there are these animals up in the Arctic Circle. That yeah, they're like a ground.
So you have to configure the emulator through its configuration file.
Yes.
People
Which
always
is
just find
lengthy,
means
if I
Yeah,
electric
remember
you're kind of full
correctly.
of like weird trivia knowledge.
You
Right?
know what I mean?
What's that?
I said Pikachu is just a pun in Japanese, which means electric mouse.
Oh really?
In fact, if you
Makes
listen
sense.
to the Japanese version of Pokemon, Pikachu still has the same voice. Yep. The only Pokemon that are changed are the ones that got translated.
Yeah.
So Pikachu, same voice. Pichu has the same voice. Raichu has the same voice. Usually there's at least one every generation that they just keep the name the same across
Well, like
everywhere.
Meowth, they would have had to like.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
ideas
Yeah.
for
Well,
a
Meowth-
frequency
Meowth would not
reference
have had
could be
a
used?
Brooklyn accent.
Something around
Yeah.
30 megahertz?
That's true. But like, I mean, I don't know. Like,
Well,
like, I'm trying to think
we've
of
got
like,
the,
Pokemon with, like,
Alenko
even
upstairs.
Their name, you know, and that's
That does
Meowth.
10 meters.
Meowth, and we
Yeah.
thought, wow, that is a horrible name for a cat.
Yeah, I wouldn't name a cat that.
That should be pretty accurate,
I really like
but
Meowth.
it does have that IR knob on it.
Evolution is Persian,
Right,
which
yeah.
It's not a Persian cat, so
No.
it just didn't make any sense to use
Yeah,
that.
and Persians too, like, I don't
You
know,
should name it
bland.
like
It's
one
so,
They should
like,
not put us in charge
it's
of
so obvious, I guess.
Yeah.
the
Like,
metric
Persian cat,
system's
you know, it's like,
official
that's original.
Just
Yeah.
name it
weights.
If I had a
Oh, that
Persian
would
cat,
be kinda
Suppose.
cute. Like, oh,
Yeah.
kitten would be
we
cute.
thought about calling it.
So
Mew,
the
actually.
closest
We
beacon
like
you
to
could
do
find was too far away to really be counted as.
No, if we
had
could find
if I
a
had
beacon on
Persian
10
cat,
meters,
call him
that would be
Shah.
alright. Put the antenna back on
Why?
here.
Because he's, the Shah of Iran,
Oh,
the emperor, ruler person.
yeah, I
see.
guess so, yeah. Huh. That would be kind of
It's 29.3.
Let's see, there's another one. I just thought Togepi was kind of cute. But I don't
Oh,
know
wow,
if
there's
that would make
something.
a good like, pet name, really.
maybe
But
call
like
it.
they,
like
they sometimes
hamster.
called it P. No, wait, what do they say?
No,
What do they say?
no, it's called Togepi.
But no, but sometimes the nickname. Didn't they give it a nickname?
I think it did have a nickname, but
I don't
It's
think
Like
so.
probably
Pokey?
Oh, maybe.
Togerino.
No.
Was it Birdie?
But P doesn't sound right.
No, Pete doesn't sound right.
28.805.
I think Togepi is also one of those Pokemon that didn't get its name changed. If I remember right. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up on the Bulbapedia.
I was really like.
Oh yeah, I love how
Like
that's.
Togepi
Yep,
is
I
like
was
the
right.
only.
Togepi, Japanese Togepi. Ha!
Nice. Yeah, the
Did you know that there's a fairy type now in the new Pokemon games? And
I don't really listen to the new
Togepi's
ones.
been
I
retconned?
don't like the new ones.
Oh yeah, because everything
Maybe
was better in the
changing everything.
90s.
Well, I like the
Only 90s kids would understand Pokemon. The best generation was from original 150.
Well, I
Actually,
like
I
up to the
agree with
third
that.
generation, and then I'm like, no.
After the third generation, when I grabbed it,
28.93? That doesn't belong there.
Like after the third generation, the Pokemon did start getting.
I wonder if that's a shortwave broadcaster.
Like even during the
It's
third.
gotta be.
Foreign.
Oh,
Sundays are supposed to be open
the
tonight.
third generation, some of the Pokemon were, but they went through quite a design shift. And they
Yeah.
Dubstep over Skip.
I'd like to get a.
Like I love the original 150.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of that.
The second was pretty good.
Make the holes.
But the thing is like you want to pick one very well known.
There's a tin that needs to be here.
Um,
So I need to cut this down and make a
thing
tin.
about all of
Now
this
it's got to do the
stuff
same on the
is
back side of that.
It's not a chemical per se. It's like a product from about the plant. The strength of it varies no matter what. So it's
Get in
really
there,
hard
Herm.
to say. It will do that.
Yeah.
Which I mean, if the placebo works on you, great. I'd say use a placebo. You know.
I mean,
but
I don't know what more pressure would have done other than
Yeah.
shorting this
yeah,
out or
that's-
something.
That's up to you. Basically.
So adding the
Acupuncture
final
is a lot better
2
for
screws,
Right.
Killed it.
push down on
I
something,
talked to my psychiatrist and he
I-
said that
and now that you've opened it back up, it still won't work?
That is correct.
Because of all like the
Hmm.
actions that you do on it,
Right.
right?
Well, and
Yep.
But anyway, shoot. Anyway, well, one of my
Hello.
I
I was measuring it, but I got sick of that, so I'm just gonna eyeball it.
Circular,
But
circular.
2-inch spacing. Not 1-inch spacing. Not this amount. This amount.
you were really back to magnetic waves or whatever.
Oh, no, but
That was
we're
my
never
very
doing that
professional
ever.
handiwork there.
Oh yeah. This thing. Remember this?
Yeah.
And
Actually,
that's all it
if I
is.
remember
It's
right,
just
this
kind of
was
a little
yeah,
tedious, but
okay,
it's
where was the
you just do that
whatever game?
over and over again.
over and over again.
So in theory, the way this thing is, see where the hole is? We'll cut into the tenon, but we won't cut through the tenon.
Nice and sturdy now.
So these look pretty good until you get to right there. You got a little crooked on there.
But it's hiding. It's going to be part of the. It's going to be filled with glue, and the glue's actually going to take up that little gap. So I'm not worried about that.
Is that like gonna be the back of it? Like, what is the?
This is actually the base. It's going to sit like this.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Oh wow, you did all the little decorative elements.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I gotta sand all that stuff down. But this one wasn't sanded, so
Yeah, but you'll make it better than it was.
exactly.
Huh. Cool.
Action!
Woo! See, here's the mostly complete product. I still need to sand it and stain it and stuff, but all the holes are nicely drilled. I ended up drilling them or screwing them back together so the bottom one can have a little template of where the grid mark goes.
And those are all going to be non-alcoholic root beer, right?
Yes, these are all going to be root beer caps.
Good job.
Thanks.
You the drawing.
Bum-ba-dum.
Not in the notebook. I saw that paper. That's it.
This is the dry fit of the bookshelf that we just made.
With
Woohoo!
Yeah.